not starting new parties. You know, they kept saying, he's going to start a brand new party. We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before. I am not starting a new party.
And he seemed to bask in the love of the crowd. But then, predictably, things turned a little bit darker. Trump repeated the false claim the presidential election result was the result of fraud.
This election was rigged, and the Supreme Court and other courts didn't want to do anything about it.
So much for the past. What about the future?
With your help, we will take back the House. We will win the Senate, and then a Republican president will make a triumphant return to the White House. And I wonder who that will be.
I wonder too. A big tease there. Maybe he's running, or maybe he just wants to decide who does run. In fact, it's almost like he's teasing another old TV show reboot. Certainly, the CPAC speakers list was a roll call of the Trumpiest potential presidential candidates and those who also know their only path to the White House is winning over a bunch of those Trump supporters. And they were throwing out plenty of red meat to the crowd, claiming the real victim of COVID was the economy.
What followed was record unemployment, businesses closed, most schools were shuttered, and communities suffered. And the U.S. economy came to an immediate halt. Now, let me be clear. COVID didn't crush the economy. Government crushed the economy.
That's the governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, who has resisted mask mandates and shutdowns during the coronavirus pandemic.
We never focused on the case numbers. Instead, we kept our eye on hospital capacity. Now, Dr. Fauci, he told me that on my worst day, I'd have 10,000 patients in the hospital. On our worst day, we had a little over 600.
And she is certainly no fan of Dr. Fauci.
I don't know if you agree with me, but Dr. Fauci is wrong a lot.
And how did that approach work out? Well, per capita, her state now has the second highest number of COVID cases of any state in America, and the 8th highest number of deaths. On a combined tally, it is number one, with the most cases and the most deaths per capita among all American states. America's former top diplomat Mike Pompeo was another potential 2024 presidential candidate at CPAC, but he fell a little bit flat.
First, we show up Paris Climate Accord. It was a job-destroying joke, so we said au revoir.
Yeah. Tanned and rested, Texas Senator Ted Cruz laughed off recent criticism after he fled that energy crisis in his freezing home state to thaw out a bit in Mexico.
Orlando is awesome. It's not as nice as Cancun.
Yes, that was a boo that you heard there. And Ted Cruz still does have a job to win over some Trump supporters who are old enough to remember he refused to endorse Trump at the RNC in 2016. Ted preached unity and liberty in the face of what he described as cancel culture. But Senator Cruz's main refrain was liberals are just no fun.
Like, just lighten up. Especially now, the left. They are shrill. They are angry. How many leftists does it take to screw in a light bulb? That's not funny!
Shrill, angry. Not everyone was treating it like open mic night at the Comedy Store, though. Florida Governor and rising Republican star Ron DeSantis made it very clear he thinks that Donald Trump has remade the Republican Party.
We cannot, we will not go back to the days of the failed Republican establishment of yesteryear.
Yeah, interesting call for DeSantis to read off notes rather than an auto cue. Don't know what that's about. But all in all, there was noticeably less direct praise for Donald Trump and fewer claims about stolen elections than you might have expected at CPAC. Although there is clearly a strong determination to challenge access to voting rights, which former President Trump has certainly been fomenting, Chaz.
Yeah, don't get us wrong though, there was still plenty of Trump love on display from the entertainment.
Who won Trump won? Who won Trump won? Watermark the baddest 45, the chosen one. You know the fans did it sweet. They was knocking at the front door. Patriots pulling up, knocking on the Capitol. Oh yeah.
I know it's exploitative, but those Republican dancers are so hot. They even had their own golden Trump idol on display to worship.
That's so cool. We're the people. For years.
And appropriately, that statue quite literally has a golden calf. But I still think your point is well made, John, because look at the results of the CPAC straw poll. If the 2024 primaries were held tomorrow, Trump would win 55% of the vote. Ron DeSantis would win 21% and then daylight. Now, I know 55% is a lot, but this was a conference with literally 131 pro-Trump conservatives speaking to 0 anti-Trump conservatives. And no one else has even begun campaigning other than Trump, who just had a whole election. So that straw poll could not have been more rigged for Trump. And he still only won 55% of the vote, especially seen as a whopping 95% of attendees said Republicans should continue on with Trump's agenda. So 40% of attendees said they wanted Trump's agenda, but not necessarily Trump to deliver it. I don't want to make a big deal out of one straw poll, John, but Trump would not have liked those numbers.
No, but then again, this is a straw poll that Rand Paul won not so long ago as well. But look, it's time now to head back into the Planet America archive for a forgotten